life, you know that something is missing somewhere, but you are jumping from one bandwagon of happiness to another, all to try and suppress how you feel. But you can run to the end of the highway and not find what you're looking for. And when you turn around, and if you do not face the reality, you find that you are facing the same thing that you've been trying to run away from. What is it that can cause somebody that is celebrated all around the world? They are seen on the big screens everywhere around the world. They don't not even have to believe for a car like we do. You pray and fast to believe for a car. They go into a showroom and buy a car for cash.
Yes.
While you are busy paying off the mortgage for the next 25, 30 months, they go in and pay cash.
Yes.
But what is it that can make that person go in the back room of their house and go into the basement and begin to shoot drugs? Simply because they realize that something they've got is not the outlet that a person ought to look for. There's something that is missing somewhere. And so in the search, they go for the easiest and quickest way out. But there is no quickest way out. There is no quickest way out. Life has no reverse gear. Nicodemus tried to understand that. How can an old man be born and go back into his mother's womb? And Jesus said, you are a teacher, you don't know these things. If you can't understand these simple things, how much more should I explain to you? In short, what Nicodemus was saying was, I'm already in gear 3 and I cannot go back. And Jesus said, you are right. But I'll tell you something, if you think and you realize, Nicodemus, that you have been born wrong, there's another chance for you to be born
again.
That's what Jesus was saying.
Yeah, what? Oh, yeah.
That's what he was saying. And so the question of life is what has today made the psychic industry to be a multi-million pound or dollar industry. As people go from one astrologer to another divine, from one diviner to a palm reader, from a palm reader they go to the psychics to try and find out. And today there is sites on the internet where they say log in your date of birth and will tell you how, when and where you're going to die. All because people are trying to find out. But you see, God has a secret. All of us here know the day we were born. But none of us here know the day when we die.
No.
That's God's secret. The reason why he did that was so that you can live each day as though it were your last.
Yes.
Plan as though Jesus is not coming back, but live as if he's coming today. That's the secret that he has in his mind.
That's right.
There is none that can make invitation cards and say, come to my funeral on such and such a day. There is none. Even those who know that they are not well, you cannot do that because their life is in the hands of the living God. And so Solomon tried. He said, then I went from laughter, which is parting, and I went to drink to try and drown my sorrows. I was looking for answers to life. I was looking for happiness in life. I needed something that was going to make me feel happy. So I went to drinking in the hope that drinking will lead me somewhere. You see, we're not just fly-by-night kind of creatures that God created and threw us into the earth and said, you go and figure it out. He didn't do that. We are all born with a purpose.
Yes, yes.
Now, you notice this. Every baby that is born, including when I was born and you were born, every baby is born with a fist that is clenched, saying, I have come to fight for what belongs to me. Every baby is born with a clenched fist, but when we die with open arms. What are we saying? That I tried to fight. I tried everything there was, but today I must leave it all. And that's what Solomon was saying.
Leave it all.
That is what King Solomon was saying. I said this in class, and that's Kenton's classmate, Philip, sitting there, and they sit on the same desk with Kenton. I was saying, you know, life is like a game of Monopoly. Those of you who like playing the game of Monopoly, you win a few industries here, and you win a bit of some money, and then you buy a few buildings, and you buy some cars, and then you buy a few more houses. But at the end of the game, everything goes back in the box. Everything, when the game is over, everything goes back in the box. And that's what life is all about. You can get it all, but at the end of the day, everything has to go have taken to drink thinking that it will solve the problem, but it never does.
Never does.
It never does. Are you very happy? Are you very sure that where you are right now is where you ought to be in your life? Is there a feeling within you somehow, somewhere, that there must be more to life than this? Isn't there a feeling within you that you're not living the best that you should, and you are not at your output as you should? You see, because many times we take pride in what we have. Or we live in a house with a big swimming pool. Now what happens when the swimming pool dries up?
Come on.
Oh, I am the director general of this company. What happens when the company dries up?
All right.
And so we take pride in the simple things that are fleeting in life. And so if your identity is in who you are, that you can walk around and say, I am the manager of this, when that managerial job is no longer there, then what is left? Surely something must be there to sustain you.
That's right.
Yes.
We find pleasure in all that. I was very happy when my sister, the minister, said, you see, let's forget about all the degrees, because that's not what it is all about.
Yeah.
That's not what it is all about. At the end of the day, all these things have to be left behind.
Yes.
There must be more to life than this. And we will see when Solomon gets to the conclusion of the matter, that he brings us closer to home, and he knocks at every one of us doors to say this is where the answer is. So he said, I tried. And then he said, then my search for happiness took me to work. He says, I began great projects. I set up great projects. I spent time in the office like most people say, I'm going to work and work and work and work because I believe that I want to be the most successful person there is. But how many of us can sit here today and honestly say to ourselves that I've been working for all my life and yet I never became rich? Because nobody becomes rich on their job. Nobody does. Show me one person who became rich on their job and we can try investigating them right now.
So true.
Nobody gets rich on their job.
No.
It takes more than that.
That's right.
So Solomon put everything on the line and started working and started working and started working and started. Now let me say something to you, Mom and Dad. Yes, the job is very important because it pays the bills and it brings in the money.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not the job that will celebrate you as a mother or as a father.
No.
It is the amount of time that you spent investing in the children.
Yes.
The amount of time. I mean, for me, what is important? Let me tell you this. My dad died when I was 5. I was brought up by a single parent. My mother was 36 when my dad died. I did some amazing stuff as a young kid. At least the ones that I can remember. And I know that there are so many like me. You scored a goal. The whole stadium stood up and clapped, but there was one clap missing. And that was the clap of a father.
Yes.
And so many people came and embraced you and told you you were the very best. But there was one embrace that was missing, an embrace of a loving mother. That was what was missing.